Hey guys, it's Mrs. Reyes coming with the last two chapters and then you'll be able to take an AR test. Remember, if you forgot any of the book, you can always go back to the other YouTube videos to help remind you. Chapter 9, Telling the Story. Finally, the hugging and crying and laughing died down. The villagers started walking back to their huts. Jack and Annie followed Boca, Kema, and their parents. We felt the ground shaking, said Boca and Kema's father. We knew a big wave might follow. Jack saved us, said Boca. He read in a book and found out about the big wave. What's a book? Asked his mother. Show them, Annie said to Jack. Jack reached into his pack and took out their research book. It tells about the big waves in here. He said, books give lots of information. Ah, said Boca and Kema's mother, a book is a good thing. Books tell stories too, said Annie. That is impossible, said Kema. The book cannot move its feet or wave its hands. It cannot sing or chant. That's true, said Jack, smiling. Now we should do the hula, Boca said to Annie, Kema, and Jack, and tell our story. I'll watch, said Jack, stepping away. Boca and Kema's father called for music. The villagers gathered around. A man started to play a pipe. A teenage boy knocked two sticks together. Some women began shaking rattles. Boca, Kema, and Annie waved their hands in time to the music. They stopped from side to side. They swayed their hips. Kema chanted about going out into the water. She, Boca, and Annie waved their hands to show how they paddled out to sea. Kema chanted about how Jack had warned them. She and the others waved their hands to show how they rode their surfboards to shore. Then Jack surprised himself. He waved his hands to show how he rode his surfboard like a bird soaring through the air. The next thing he knew, he was stepping from side to side. He was swaying his hips. He was doing the hula. And there's Jack. Kema chanted about how the water had pulled away from the shore and how they had climbed to safety and how the giant wave crashed against the cliff. As Kema chanted the story, all the villagers joined in the dance. The tall grasses swayed, the palm trees swayed, and all the hula dancers swayed too. When the story ended, everyone clapped. Thanks for helping us, Boca said to Jack and Annie. We're a good team, said Annie. We are best friends, said Kema. Yeah, said Jack. I'm sorry I said mean things. We're sorry we laughed at you, said Boca. I'm sorry I grabbed the book, said Annie. Our mother says friendship is like riding the waves, said Kema. Sometimes you ride low, gentle waves. Sometimes you ride high, rough ones. Annie gasped. She looked at Jack. She repeated Morgan's rhyme. To find a special magic, build a special kind of ship that rides the waves both high and low on every kind of ship. Friendship, that's the ship, said Jack. And we built it, said Annie. Jack and Annie both burst out in laughing. Boca and Kema looked a little confused, but they laughed too. We have to go back to our home now, Annie said to Boca and Kema. It's time to say goodbye, said Jack. We never say goodbye, said Kema. We say aloha when we greet our friends, and we say aloha when we meet them. Friends are always together, said Boca, even when they are far apart. Have a good journey in your magic treehouse, said Kema. Thanks, said Jack and Annie. They waved to all the villagers. Aloha! Aloha! Everyone called back. Then Annie and Jack started through the meadow. Tiny yellow birds and orange-black butterflies flitted about them. At the edge of the meadow, they came to the grove of palm trees. They climbed up the rope ladder into the treehouse. Out the window, Jack saw the tall mountains, the small village, the flowery meadow, and the ocean. The water was peaceful again. I still have my lace, said Annie. She took it off. Though the red flowers were wet, they were still a little fluffy. It's proof that we found the special magic, said Jack, the magic of friendship. Annie put the lei on the floor next to the play scrolls, the twig, and the corn seeds. Then she picked up the Pennsylvania book. Ready? She asked. Jack sighed. I love Hawaii, he said. Finally, you admit it, said Annie. She pointed at the picture of the Frog Creek woods. I wish we could go home now. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Perfectly still. Sorry. Chapter 10. Everyday Magic. Jack opened his eyes. The sun was setting beyond the woods. No time at all had passed in Frog Creek. Welcome back, said a soft, lovely voice. Morgan Le Fay was in the magic treehouse. That was a picture of Morgan Le Fay. Morgan, cried Annie. She threw arms around the enchantress. Jack hugged Morgan too. Look, Morgan, said Annie. We have proof we have found 4 special kinds of magic. Yes, I see, said Morgan. Morgan picked up the play scrolls that Shakespeare had given Jack in Old England. You found the magic of theater, she said. Morgan picked up the twig from a mountain gorilla in the African cloud forest. And the magic of animals. Morgan picked up the pouch of corn seeds from the trip to the first Thanksgiving. And the magic of community, she said. Finally, Morgan picked up the wreath of flowers from Kema and Boca. And you discovered the magic of friendship, she said. Morgan looked at Jack and Annie for a long moment. Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, she said. Yes? They both leaned forward. You are now magicians of everyday magic, said Morgan. You have learned to find the magic in things you encounter on Earth every day. There are many other forms of everyday magic. You never have to look far to find it. You only have to live your life to the fullest. Jack and Annie nodded. Soon you will be called upon to use your knowledge of everyday magic in the realm of fantasy. The realm of fantasy, said Jack. Are we going back to Camelot, said Annie. Before Morgan could answer, a shout came from the distance. Jack! Annie! Our dad's calling, said Annie. You must go home now, said Morgan. Rest and get ready to test your powers. Your most exciting challenges are yet to come. Goodbye, Morgan, said Annie and Jack. They hugged the enchantress. Then Jack took the Hawaii book out of his pack and gave it to Morgan. He put it on his backpack and followed Annie down the ladder. When they stepped onto the ground, there was a great roar above them. Jack and Annie looked up. A swirl of sparkling light lit the top of the tree. Then the light was gone. The treehouse was gone. Morgan Le Fay was gone too. Jack and Annie didn't speak for a long moment. Then Jack broke the silence. Our most exciting challenges are yet to come, he said. What do you think Morgan meant by that? I don't know, said Annie. It sounds a little scary. That's okay, we can handle it. We're magicians of everyday magic, she smiled. Jack smiled too. Yeah, he said, I guess we are. They walked out the woods as the sun was setting. Down the street, their mom and dad were standing on their front porch. They waved at Jack and Annie. Jack felt a surge of happiness. There's another kind of everyday magic, he thought. The magic of family. In that moment, it seemed like the best magic of all. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed the book. It is 3.4, and the quiz number is 68287. I'm going to put it up on the screen and you guys can pause it while you're looking for the quiz number. Have a great night.